Welcome back to the Intangible Podcast. I'm here with my man, Austin Bryant. Austin, welcome to the Intangible Podcast.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, I'm sure you guys know, he's a Clemson guy. We like Clemson. Clemson's good. He comes into Clemson, win 2 national championships. He wins MVP at the Cotton Bowl in 2018. He, while he was at Clemson, 153 tackles, 20 sacks, 35 TFLs. Drafted by the Detroit Lions in 2019, 4th round pick. But not only that, just a big heart, gives back to the brother and sister player championship programs, but also just known for authentic leader, relentless energy, and a mentor off the field. Austin, man, excited to have you on. Excited to dive into your story, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having me, Chris.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here. Beautiful home here. Beautiful studio. Glad to be here, man.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Well, before we kind of get going, before we kind of get into the career and all those different things that made you who you are, I like to kind of go back to your upbringing. Before the rings, before MVPs, who were you growing up? Who was the person that drove you to become the stud football player?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I say this. I'm from a small town called Pavo, Georgia, down in South Georgia. We bought
Georgia boys,
DSGB.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So I'm from South Georgia, small town called Pavo. Grew up, mom and dad, just me growing up in the house, but a slew of cousins, uncles, aunts. It was a village that raised me, my mom, my dad.
It takes one now.
It takes one, for real. My mom, my dad, uncles, aunts, neighbors across the street from my grandmother, neighbors across the street from my house. Man, it was a village, and I love the way I grew up. Because now and throughout my career, going from these big NFL cities to just have the perspective of a small town kid in a big city, man, I felt tremendously blessed, but also I felt like I was able to gain some things that I could possibly give back to the youth in my community or whoever would be willing to listen and to receive it. So, that's a little bit about me, man. I grew up only child. Parents was tough on me, and I appreciate that now. I took my fair share of belt whippings, man, but they made me a better man. I say that.
That's what I can say. I grew up in the era of Mississippi. We got a couple of those belts. Yeah. And I feel like I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
how are you doing?
Good. I'm great, man. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. Like, we was reading through Proverbs. And we came up to the verse, whoever spares the rod spoils their child. And man, we was just all reminiscent of how, like, if we got the whippings today that we got back then, our parents would be in jail.
Oh yeah,
bro.
locked up for life.
Locked up. But it made us better. You sitting in the seat you sitting in, and I'm sitting in the seat I'm sitting in. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. I mean, I always say it's okay to have that healthy fear. And we had that healthy fear of our parents and that respect that, when you walked out of the door, that same respect applied to every other adult that you ran into.
Indeed.
And so just like you said, you have aunts, uncles, grandmas, the cousins, but not just the cousins, just family friends that are kind of the eyeballs in the community. So social media before social media became social media.
Yep. And they had authority to whip you just like your parents did.
Exactly. And so that means you walk the straight and narrow. I mean, you try to sneak off and find a way to get in trouble. But for the most part, as a whole, we made sure that, hey, we kept a head on the swivel. Who's watching? Who's watching?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, I do miss that time. Something, not the spanking part of it, but I do miss the times of the community being really involved with helping raise kids, and that you had an authority when a kid stepped out of line, that you were able to say something to them, not necessarily put your hands on them, but say something to them,
and it was well received too.
Right, exactly.
Like, it wasn't met with a whole lot of conflict or angst. Like, it was received. Yeah. Because like you said earlier, we gave people the same respect that we gave our parents.
Right.
So it's real.
Well, that's awesome. When you think about that community, who taught you to compete, not just play the game, not just play the sport? Because, I see it all the time now where you see a lot of people just running plays and running, just lining up playing. But that the competitive nature had to come from somewhere. So in that community, whether family or not, who was that person that taught you how to really compete, to push you to do that?
Yeah, great question. So I'll take two angles on this. I'll start off saying that I was one of the youngest of my grandmother's grandkids. I spent a lot of time in my grandmother's house growing up because my parents worked so much. And I always try to keep up with my older cousins and the older kids in the neighborhood. But I was kind of like the runt. Like I was the kid that you had to take. You didn't really want to take them.
Right.
So just me trying to fit in with the older group, kids 7, 8 years older than me at the time, really toughened me up. My older cousins were hard on me. We played rough. They played with me rough when I was a kid. So I was always a physical kid, a good kid though. Like I didn't try to bully nobody or nothing like that growing up. But they played rough with me as a kid, and I always tried to keep up with the older kids. Definitely had to compete in that instance. And I also go back to a story of my uncle. His name is Pop. I can remember one of my first times going to play AAU basketball in Atlanta. Mind you, I'm a small town kid from South Georgia. Atlanta's probably 3 or 4 hours from where I grew up.
Okay.
And I can remember calling him after one of my first games. My parents took me to play. And one thing he told me that I never forgot and that I think like helped me throughout my career, because it's something I always go back to, is that, you know, even though they may be from a big city, or even though they may be better than you on paper, they put their pants on the same way you do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I always took with me, something that I always reminded myself of, no matter what city, what arena, what locker room, new team, old team, didn't matter. Whoever you competing against, they got to put on their pants the same way, one leg at a time.
Right. And they got to show up.
They got to show up.
Because I'm going to outwork you. Small town, that mentality of outworking people, it's a real thing.
Yeah, bro.
You got to outwork. And so
your podcast name is indicative of it. The Intangibles.
That's it.
The Intangibles.
That's it. And from the Intangibles, when you look at life, they are transferable.
For sure.
They go across. And so if you're building that foundation early, and that's why I always like to go back to the foundation pieces, because that's where you start to really uncover like where those early on intangibles start to develop. Yeah. And again, like I said earlier, we don't even think about them until it's too late.
For sure.
You know? So you go on and you work your way through, through high school sports, and now you're sitting here thinking about college.
Yeah.
And Clemson is on the radar. Yeah. Why Clemson? What was in their culture that you felt like, hey, this is a place that I want to be? And this is before the dynasty started to happen.
Right, it was.
Because you helped build that.
Yeah, I was a piece in that. We had some guys that laid a foundation before I got there, but man, I always tell people I hit it at the right time.
Yeah.
I was a small part of it, but to answer your question, man, I started getting recruited seriously probably my junior year, my sophomore year actually. I just moved from quarterback to outside linebacker. Many people don't know I didn't play defense until my second year in high school. I had been a quarterback and a wide receiver all the way up through middle school.
Oh man, hold on. Let's talk about that. I mean, most people don't realize you talking about diva receiver, quarterback who don't like to get hit, converted to a linebacker to defensive end. Like, man, that's impressive. Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah, it was a crazy transition, man. Came in 9th grade, quarterback. We had a guy in front of me who was only a year older than me. His name was Adam Choice. Probably the best player I ever seen play live. He ended up going to Clemson as well, but he was the quarterback. We ran split back veer offense. He was a 4-3 guy.
Okay.
So I was not a 4-3 guy. I could throw it and I could run, but I was not a 4-3 guy.
Yeah.
So there was no chance of me beating him out in the scheme that we played. So my head football coach, speed kills, bro, and he was phenomenal. Like one of my best friends to this day. But our head coach comes to me one day after workouts in the summer. He like, Austin, look, Adam is a year older than you. He gonna be here. He gonna be the starter, and we think you a great player where you at, but we don't want you to wait until your senior year to get an opportunity to play. We feel like because of your mentality, you have talent. We can find a place for you on the field. So he was like, what do you think about playing outside linebacker? And we ran a 4-4 in high school. So in our defense, it was a bandit position. Yeah. Only the old school football guys don't know what that is.
Here we go.
Yeah. So outside linebacker, I made the transition. My sophomore year, I had a great year. Ended up getting my first offer from Florida State. And then kind of after that, all the chips started falling, like your Floridas, Auburns, Georgia Techs, Georgias, everybody started offering me.
Because you can't coach size.
You can't coach size.
I mean, you, the height, and you're playing that bandit position.
Yeah.
That's that position that also can get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
You're sending. Yep. I mean, so they see you move to that position. It's like, all right,
we can do something with that.
We can develop that body.
For sure. I was raw.
Yeah.
So you're exactly right. Like, I was definitely somebody they seen that could develop. And I was still early in my career.
Yeah.
And then kind of my junior year, it kind of all started to make sense. And then my coach approached me. He was like, hey, do you want to move to defensive end? By this time, I had gained another 20, 30 pounds. Yeah. So now I'm 250, 255. And they like, I mean, you can play outside linebacker because you're athletic enough, but we think if you play defensive end, you might have an opportunity to, take this thing as far as you want to take it.
Right.
And thank God they offered me that opportunity, because I'm sitting here now with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And so now that leads into, you make a decision to go to Clemson.
Yeah.
When you look at, what Clemson was building, how did you see yourself fitting into that? Were you in that mindset of, I need to walk in and play right away, or I'm here to continue to develop?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I would say from what I had seen throughout the recruiting process, as far as the product that they was putting on the field, they had some unbelievable players there at the time. They had, Ben Boulware's, Stephon Anthony's, Tony Allen's, Mackenzie Alexander, really, really good defensive players. Had always been known for their defensive line, whether it was Grady Jarrett, whether it was Daquan Bowers, all the names that you hear when you hear about Clemson, like they had the pipeline for defensive line. So I knew football would kind of take care of itself. And just in that time where Clemson was, Taj Boyle was playing really well. Mm-hmm. Sammy Watkins was playing great ball. Oh, yeah. We had some great guys, and Clemson was kind of at the edge. And I can remember them playing Oklahoma in the Russell Athletic Bowl the year before I went up there, and I was just like, man, like they got everything you need to be a great program. It's like, why don't I just go and step into where they're ascending to?
Right.
And man, when I visited my senior, or was it my junior year, I believe, man, I was just blown away by the people. First of all, like football aside, the family atmosphere that people talk about, the culture that people talk about with Dabo, mm-hmm. the structure of his program, it being a place for young men to come and to grow and to mature, like it was everything that my parents had tried to raise me mm-hmm. Into as far as structure.
Right.
So I thank God that I had the wisdom at the time to see that mm-hmm. and to go to a place that I needed to go, not that I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And man, now looking back as a 29-year-old man, like I can say like Clemson truly was the best decision I could have made, because I still think back to, things Coach Sweeney would say, the way he structured the program, why he had us doing certain things. And he told us even then, like, you ain't gonna understand what I'm doing right now, but when you leave here 10, 15 years from now, you're gonna look back and say, man, they did it the right way.
Yeah. When you look at the program, you see this program as it's a different program.
Yeah.
Take us behind the scene. What were you seeing? What was happening that made that program different, that made that family unit, outside of just the culture that Dabo he was building, the type of characters of guys that you had in that family?
No, true, man. Thank you for asking that great question. I think anybody that goes to Clemson, they'll be able to see that there's something really different within the program, within the town itself. You go to a lot of these other schools and it felt showy. It felt like a business. It felt like a runway. Mm-hmm. When I went to Clemson, man, it was truly, they didn't have to sell it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I feel like you can know a program by how much they have to sell it. They didn't have to sell it.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do too much. They put you in the room with the people that you would be seeing day in and day out.
Right.
You could see how people treated each other. You could see the caliber of men who were leaving Clemson. And then you could see the caliber of men that were coming back 5-10 years from now.
Right.
And you don't see that at a lot of places where guys love coming back, love being around the program, love giving back whatever they can to the program. And it would always struck me that Coach Swinney led from a Christ perspective. I was raised in the church, not to say I was the perfect Christian growing up, but man, when I went there, I knew that something is right about this, and this isn't at every other program that I've been to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome. And you see it. You can see how he leads, and you can see why he's still there.
Yeah.
You know, because of the type of man he is, and you, like you said, you guys have so many guys that leave and doing some great things.
Yeah.
And every time I turn on the tube, I see a lot of those guys still coming back.
Still
there
coming back. Yeah. I was just down there a couple weeks ago.
So it's like,
yeah.
So you know, it's a special place when you have guys who want to come back to a program.
Yeah.
Not
indeed.
because, and again, Clemson is not what Clemson was when you were playing, you know, but the guys are still pouring back into that program. And that's a testament to what Dabo, the culture that he's built there.
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job, and
yeah,
I'm so thankful for him and the way he structured that program. You know, the landscape of college football now may be a little different.
Yeah, it's
only the real ones can really come to Clemson and do what they need to do. So any recruits out there,
look at it. He's giving a shout out right now.
Challenge, man. Check out my dog.
He's promoting now.
Yeah. I had to get that in.
Well, man, you anchored one of the best defensive line in history for Clemson. You know, what was special about that group that you was playing with? Tell me about some of the leadership aspects of the group that you were working with, and some of the character from an intensity standpoint that you were playing with.
Yeah, man, great question. Man, I was lucky enough to play with, you know, not only some phenomenal players, but some of the best men that I've ever met that are in my age range. Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, Cleveland Farrell. Man, three first rounders off the gate, man. I was just lucky to be in a group. And yes, they were phenomenal players. Yes, we had a great run at Clemson, but I remember more about them as men than I do anything else. The way they carried themselves, the way they worked, the way they respected people, the way they cared for people, not mattering who they were or status or anything like that. And to be able to truthfully say that they're still the same exact people to this day as far as that goes. And they've only matured and gotten better. And I'm so grateful that not only can I call them my former teammates, but I can call them my brothers for life.
Yeah.
And I love them guys to death. And just to see the way a Christian Wilkins worked when we was in college, to see the way the long hours that Clee would put in, to see the way that Dex would play and expand himself and to help guys around him to be better. Like, it was such a blessing to me because now I know, and I had, you know, iron around me that was making me better. So a lot of who I am today is not only because, you know, of, you know, the person that my parents raised and that, as far as that goes, but also the men that the Lord was able to put around me in college. And we've been able to carry that relationship forward. And now we almost 30 years old and we still talk every other day. Yeah. Still make sure everybody's doing good. We still make time to see each other in the off season. So,
you know, that old saying, iron sharpen iron.
Yeah.
You know, what part of your maturity grew the most by watching guys like that?
Oh, wow. Great question. Man, I would say the extra. Not doing what's required, but doing what's needed, you know.
When nobody's watching.
When nobody's watching.
And nobody's watching.
You know, everybody gonna be at workouts at 7 a.m. because it's on the schedule. But what you doing on Saturday? What you doing on Sunday morning in the off season?
Right.
What you doing at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday after you done had workouts that morning?
Right.
You got enough in you to go get another one in? You got enough in you to go watch a little film? It's that stuff that coming from high school, and I think we all kind of saw this coming from high school, that we was just better than the competition.
Oh, 100%.
So God just gave us more than he gave other people.
Right.
But when you get to the collegiate level, and especially the pro level, you know, it's the little stuff. Everybody good. Everybody talented. Yeah. Everybody can run. Everybody fast. Everybody strong.
Right.
But it's that guy that's 100% on his assignments versus the guy that's 90% even. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's that little extra that I was able to see, like, okay, okay, Christian just went to the gym and got some extra in. Shoot, I need to go. Let me go get me some extra in later. And so it just built that habit. And then before you know it, we had a system where in the off season, every Saturday we had the facility 3 or 4 hours. We bring in young guys with us. And that's what it was. We became come with me teammates and not I'll go by myself teammates.
Come with me.
Yeah, come with me.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
For sure.
Man, that's strong right there. Real powerful. And that's when you talk about habits and tangibles, those are the things, the extra things when no one's watching that really builds that, it continues to build that foundation.
Yeah.
And again, your parents said it, your grandma and them reinforced it, your uncles and all them, they reinforce it. And now you've built capacity to grow. And now you're in an environment where you can actually expand and grow.
For sure.
And then turn that into more leadership.
Yeah, man.
I love that.
To get stretched.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, when you think about winning 2 national championships, those don't just happen on game day. So what was the hardest part of that journey?
Man, the hardest part of that journey, I would say, is knowing that we had the potential to do exactly what we did, but having the wisdom and having the tenacity to act it out every day, to turn potential into reality.
Right.
That was the hardest part, especially with the hype, especially with the fanfare that comes with, being highly esteemed in college ball. The ability to humble ourselves daily, die to ourselves, and serve our teammates and love our teammates more than we love hearing our name on TV or seeing our name in the paper.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Football take care of itself. We love ball. We can play ball. God gave us that. But it was the mental that was the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, you went on and you won combo MVP. For you, what clicked in that season for you?
What clicked? I think the better way to describe it is what didn't click, to be honest. So that was my senior year. A lot of people don't know, but I actually had a torn pec most of that season. And I was struggling early on in the season. Wasn't being as productive as I wanted to be. Then I finally was able to turn it on midway through the season. I tear my pec. Come in the next day after that, and they tell me, hey, it's completely torn. Either you can get surgery, your season's over, or you can just kind of try to play through it, let it scar up, and see how it goes. And I could have left my junior year, but I came back to finish this thing. So I'm like, man, I don't care what kind of consequences will be for my draft status or whatever. I'm finishing this season. Put a brace on it, strap it up, whatever you got to do to get me on the field on Saturday at 1, at 12, whatever time it was, I was going to do it. And I feel like the Cotton Bowl game was kind of it was a confidence boost for me that, I was able to push through the injury and still play at a high level.
Yeah.
And to still be a leader for guys that, that needed somebody to look up to. The game was fun, but I always tell people the MVP trophies and national championship trophies, do you remember that stuff? Yeah, I think that trophy is sitting at my mom's house on the coffee table though. But the stuff I remember is the times leading up to the game, the times on the bus, on the plane.
I know.
Man.
I'm with you, man. Those special bonding moments,
special
man.
moments.
Yeah.
That's what I miss right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not, football, I miss football, but it's the time in the locker room. It's the time on the bus. It's the time cutting up with your boys that you really cherish and hold on to.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mental toughness is not something that you're born with. You build it, you train. You train for it.
That's good.
And so, listening to your story, you was training for this mental toughness.
Yeah.
You was building it. So that mental toughness, when you got to a position where you tore your pec, you say, okay, I know I have the mental toughness to push through it. Mm-hmm. Now, conversion with that is the other side of it is mental performance.
Yeah.
It's how do I get through this from a mental side of it, the negative thoughts.
Yeah. When
I do feel a little twinge, when I'm, coming off this move and all of a sudden it's how do I mentally push through it, knowing that I'm not going to hurt it anymore. It's already completely torn. So now how did you work on the mental performance side of it? Because we know the mental toughness was there.
Yeah, man. Phenomenal question. Man, I would definitely say that it was a one play, a one rep at a time mentality. Because it was times, just to be quite frank, it was times where I was like completely overwhelmed by it because I'm thinking about, man, I done got hurt. Like, how is this going to affect my draft status? And am I even going to be the player that I was before I tore my pec?
Right.
And those are real questions, real doubts that went through my mind.
Yeah.
And man, I would say that it was by the grace of God that he gave me the strength to continue every single day. It wasn't easy, but like you said, I'm so grateful for that. Like, even though, do I want to finish my season healthy?
Yeah.
Of course, everybody does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I will say now, looking back, like you talked about, that built a mental resilience that I couldn't have gotten any other way. And I think in a way, situations and moments like this and a part of the game is kind of what sets athletes apart in the workspace when they get done with football, because the person that I may be competing with in this tech job, all they've known is sitting behind a computer or coding something or whatever the case may be. But me, I've mentally and physically pushed myself to the maximum for years.
Right.
So it would be a shame if I couldn't convert that same skill into the workforce.
Right.
Because you've gone way past what the average person has done.
Yeah.
Now, is there craftsmanship into how you transfer those skills into the workplace?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Of course. You didn't become a professional center overnight, did you?
Right. No,
it took time. It took time, right?
Yeah.
So I think just with persistence, diligence, and resilience, man, like, that's what it was. Like, it was no magic pill.
Yeah.
You know, it was no amount of Tylenol or nothing I could have taken to get me over that. Like, the grace of God and trusting in him and like just going one play at a time, one rep at a time.
Yeah. So you just touched on something that I like to, I'm constantly thinking about is when I hear your perspective now, you're able to have this perspective of these skills that are transferable, the foundation of intangibles that are transferable.
Yeah.
You know, has there things that have happened in your life that has made this force you to think about that from a hindsight perspective, or is it something that's been developed over time where someone was teaching you and training you about these intangibles in your life?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. I think you always can remember coach speaking to them saying, like, this game of football is way more about football. It's about life. Like, it's going to teach you about life. And when you young and you in it, you like, bro, what? I'm just trying to ball. Like, what you talking about?
Right.
But then, like you said, when you get on this side of it, and, you know, not many people know, but I just officially stepped away from the game like a week ago. You see that, like, oh, wait, no. Like, life is about to get that much better for me, because a lot of things that people my age haven't learned, I've been through since I was 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I've been through the hardest parts of my life physically already.
Right.
And mentally, if you play in the NFL, especially mentally.
Right.
And if I was able to make it through those storms, how much greater can it get later if I just apply myself and use those intangible skills that I learned to be the same guy that I was. So my athletic career, it really isn't ending.
Right.
I'm just stepping into a new arena.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
There it is. With a complete toolbox.
Yeah.
That I don't want to say complete, with a full toolbox where now you want to start adding other sides of things that you didn't get in sports to that toolbox.
For sure.
So I love the analogy, especially being a farm kid from Mississippi, talking about toolbox. I mean, now you have all these pieces there that now, all right, let me see, what do I need to start crafting it? Okay, I got my hammer in here. I got and so I got my nail over here. I got a 9/16 wrench over here. And so when you start kind of like, all right, now how do I now fit myself into these different boxes?
So let me ask you, because you've been on the other side of it for a while. Now that toolbox we're talking about, do you see now the challenge being, or the game within the game that we like to talk about, is it more about, okay, how do I how do I leverage these tools into the outcome that I would want? So in football, that would be, okay, I got to block an Aaron Donald this week.
Right.
What's my game plan? What is this guy like? What tools do I have that I can stop this guy? And then ultimately, we want to win the game.
Right.
So what does winning the game look like for you now on this side of it?
No, that's a good question for me. I would say what I had to do is dump my toolbox out.
Yeah.
And while it was laying on the ground, started looking around, trying to figure out, all right, what is that thing that I wanted to do?
Yeah.
Because again, when you're playing sports, when it's hard to put so much time into that next step because you're trying to focus on what's in front of you right now. Mm-hmm. And so by me starting to realize that I had a packed toolbox, all right, let's lay it all out on the ground. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah. And then once I kind of identify what I wanted to do, then I started crafting these pieces. Okay. Oh man, my leadership skill. Okay. My communication skills are here. All right. Let me add this over here to this chart. All right. So now I'm crafting, and now I felt like, okay, I'm capable of doing this. I'm capable of being an entrepreneur. Okay, man, I have this this toughness, this resilience. Mm-hmm. When things get hard, let me use that. I played center for, I played center 10 years in the NFL, and I had to make quick, fast decisions on the fly, on the go. I got a couple seconds to make a call. Quarterback snapped the ball. Here we go. Now we're in the game. Yeah. Okay, that lines up.
I need that.
Hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. This is what I want to do.
Bro, that's good. So you seen it from a perspective of like, okay, I want to win. I want to shut down Aaron Donald. Let me reverse engineer it with the tools I got.
Right.
That's phenomenal.
Because I've been building that tool for a long time.
Right.
To be able to go and say, okay, what's my game plan to go here? Yeah. Now I'm in a different arena. Right. I have the pieces. Now let me pull those pieces out and figure out how this fit into this arena. And then what came along with it that early on for me I had to learn is patience. I had patience of sitting on a block, but that still was happening fast. In reality, okay, let me be patient with my hand. Let me be patient with my footwork. And then, as you kind of get into this arena that I'm in, start realizing like, man, these things are not happening as fast as I'm used to. Right. And when I'm saying I'm being patient, like it was like 20 minutes ago, I called this guy. He called me back. He should be calling me back right now. Facts. And so I had to learn how to expand my capacity on patience and realize that I'm now in someone else's arena, and now I'm on their time. They're not on my time. And when you're in my arena, now you're on my time. Now I can play the game the way I want. So I had to learn how to play the game on that side with a little bit more patience. And so things takes a lot longer than what you think when you're on this side of the table than that side of the table. So I think that's the piece that I think is, was the challenge for me personally in the transition from football to this world is, what does patience look like? Right. And, we all have patience. It just means how much patience do you really have? That's good, bro. So anyway, that's a little bit of peace for me.
Because it's like for us, coming from the athletic world, especially O-line, D-line, it's black or white. Either you did or you didn't. Right. Either you got beat or you didn't. Right. It's not a whole lot of gray area, but I guess transitioning into real life, not everybody's coming from that arena. It's not always black and white for people. There is gray area. Right. So that's the transition for us. Is like, okay, like they said they was going to be here at 11. It's 11:15, and they want me to act like it's cool when they get here. Right. Whereas for us, like that's money coming out of our pocket. It's disciplinary actions for that. Exactly. But then that's where you talk about patience and grace, right? Sometimes you have to tone it down, I guess. Yeah. It just once you kind of go through it, realizing and being aware. Awareness is so important. Yeah. That, man, wow, I'm getting so. And then when you're able to tie the awareness to, oh, okay, I'm just not being patient. For sure. Okay. All right. Okay. How do I train now? How do I build up on the patience that I had in this arena so I can go do it better? So that's all it is. Okay. I appreciate the question. Now, we're going to jump back to you, get back to you here. And what we like to do is I like to do a 2-minute going into halftime. So rapid fire questions, not it's not fourth quarter. So it's not the end of the game. So we still have timeouts. And so if you need to think about it, that's okay. All right, ready. Here we go. Toughest O-lineman you ever faced? Ooh, toughest O-lineman I've ever faced. Cam Robinson.
Big, long,
rangy, aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, best trash talker on the Clemson defense.
Ooh, best trash talker on the Clemson defense. I'm gonna have to go. It's a tie. It's a tie between Christian Wilkins and Cleveland Ferrell, for sure.
Okay, yeah. All right. Most underrated Clemson teammate that you play with.
Most underrated. Oh, gotta go Kendall Joseph. He was our inside linebacker. Man, phenomenal linebacker. Could run, could hit. Great leader, very vocal, kept us lined up. You know, I used to ask him what's the call so many times, and he was so patient. But he was just a great leader, great command on the field, and like phenomenal tackler. Could hit, could cover. I definitely don't think he gets the flowers he deserves for his role on the Clemson defense when we were winning those championships.
Man, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Shout out. One stadium every player should experience.
Ooh. Besides Death Valley, everybody know Death Valley #1, but besides Death Valley.
All right, which Death Valley?
Oh, come on. The real Death Valley. In Clemson. No, but besides Death Valley, I'm going to go Virginia Tech.
Okay. All right.
I can't remember the name of the stadium, but it gets loud.
All right.
It rocks up there.
Okay. Yeah. This is a good one. Favorite Dabo Sweeney saying?
Favorite saying? Okay. If you do the uncommon things, if you do the common things in an uncommon way, you will command the attention of the world. He would tell that to us all the time that, you know, it's not about the special big thing you got to do every single day. It's the little stuff.
Little things
like,
matter.
can you be consistent in eating the right breakfast?
Yeah.
Going to work out every day? Can you be consistent in your recovery every day? And that adds up. And I'm so glad, you know, he used to say that time and time and time again. And we just be like, dude, shut up. But now, like, on this side of it, it's like, we get it. But now you like, wait, that's the separator. That's the separator.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Your go-to meal after a big win.
Oh, go-to meal after a big win. Definitely go wings. Yeah, wings.
All right, wings. Yeah. All right. I like this. This is a new one for me. One teammate you would pick to be your bodyguard.
Oh, Dexter Lawrence. All day, every day. All day, every day. He don't say too much, but if it get a little hairy, that's a guy you want on your team. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. One word to describe leadership for you.
One word. Sacrifice. Sacrifice.
I like that one.
Yeah. Lay your life down for the one next to you. Are you willing to? Are you willing to?
Yeah. Hey, Austin, I want you in the foxhole with me, bro.
Oh, my God. I'm with you. I got you.
All right, man. We're going to jump back in here. You know, when you think about NFL and success, it all looks different. Yeah. What was the biggest shift from you from going from Clemson to the NFL?
For sure. Man, I think #1, we didn't lose a whole lot of games at Clemson. And then coming to the NFL, I got drafted by the Lions, you know, at a time where the Lions weren't a great team. It was really tough to go through like multiple games like losing.
Yeah.
And then understanding too that guys really didn't care as much. Coming from a program where we took a lot of pride in like winning, not just on game day, but every single day. Then getting to the league, you know, everybody getting paid. Guys getting paid now in college, but at that time that wasn't the case. But now guys are okay with just getting a check every Sunday. Whereas I'm coming from a program where like it's all about winning. You know, that was a big transition for me. That like, wait, okay, I'm not gonna win every game I play. Like that's not normal. You know, so that was one of the biggest transitions for me going from Clemson to the NFL. Of course, across the board, guys are more talented. Like the last guy on the roster could really be the starter, you know, but you know, there's politics involved and
what
stuff.
Round you drafted
what round you drafted, who they playing, like so. It's a dogfight every day. Like practice is a game, right? You know, especially if you're not a first round pick, second round pick, a guy that you know, like okay, they're not gonna get rid of me.
Yeah,
but you know, if you a guy that got brought in or a lower round pick, like every day you got to go earn it.
Yes, sir.
It's somebody gonna be here on Tuesday trying out for your job.
Exactly. Looking for it.
Looking for it, yeah.
That's what I tell, like, when I was drafted, man, it don't care where you're drafted it, really.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I was standing there with holding my jersey up with Mike Holmgren and Tim Ruskell, who was a GM, head coach Mike Holmgren. And I remember holding it up, smiling big, and they leaned in both, you know, day after they drafted me, they leaned into me and said, hey, you know, I just want you to know, both leaned at the same time. Mm-hmm. Hey, I want you to enjoy this moment. Then the next guy said,
"It's finna get real."
The next guy said, "Hey, I started looking for your replacement tomorrow."
I
was just like,
it's real.
Man, this is a real business, man. This is real business.
Cutthroat. It's a big boy business.
Yes, sir.
But we sign up for it though.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Do it all over again.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about coming into Detroit and you don't have time to, you know, you're not winning the way you want at Clemson.
Yeah.
And now you're at Detroit. How do you start to define your contribution to the team, and how does that, when things are not going the way you want it to go?
Yeah, man, I think it was a steady looking in the mirror process. I think sometimes actually instead of looking more inward, you have to kind of zoom out and see the big picture. Like, okay, this is not completely my fault. Am I handling my business? Am I doing what I need to do every day to help the team? Am I taking care of my one out of 63rd or whatever, how many guys on the roster?
Right.
Am I doing my part? Because I think if you get too stuck in the weeds and it's my fault, you end up doing more harm to yourself than you do good.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, at a time where, man, I think we only won like 2 or 3 games, like my first year, for a year or two up there. So it was tough, man. It was tough mentally. Like I was just in a whole nother universe.
Yeah.
But again, I felt like I was super blessed to be playing professional football.
Absolutely.
You know, from Pavo, Georgia. So as bad as it looks on the outside, like it's so much to be grateful for when you just like zoom out a little bit.
Yeah. On that zoom out. So you zoomed out right now, you're looking down. What's the hardest thing as you looking back at it? What was the hardest thing to make an adjustment to scheme, or the adjustment to playing a new role? Yeah. You're not the guy anymore. You're going from hero to zero again. Facts. And so starting over again. Facts. What was the hardest part for you there?
Yeah. So I think scheme, football is football. You'll pick up the scheme, but definitely you got to get over your ego.
Yeah.
You got to. Yeah. And that goes for everybody on the NFL roster. Right. Like sometimes if you're an offensive guy, you're not going to get the ball as many times as you want. And you may be the first round guy. You may be the guy that's been there forever.
Right.
The plays just might not roll your way this week. Yeah. And you got to be okay with that. Somebody else might have a high hand. Yeah. So getting over your ego and, you know, like that word we talked about earlier with leadership, sacrifice. Yeah. Like, are you willing to lay yourself down for the betterment of the team? And usually when you focus on helping the team, usually you get blessed on the way.
Yeah.
So,
when you think about intangibles like composure, communication style, you know, how did you take that? Because you seem like you got really good composure, you're a great communicator. You know, how did you take that and blend it into a new locker room and trying to earn their respect of veterans? You know, because sometimes that can go sideways for young guys as they're trying to come in and say, "Hey, I'm here to take your job."
For sure.
You know.
Yeah, I never really got into, you know, trying to be boisterous over guys.
Yeah.
You know, the way I was raised, you know, you show everybody respect. You have confidence in yourself and your ability. And even my mom and my dad always taught me, like, off the field, when y'all not in between them lines, y'all best of friends. But on the field, like,
let's go get
it. Ain't no friends. It's time to go get it.
Turn up.
So I think guys respect that from people around them. Mm-hmm. And I think if you just be yourself, man, and like just care about people off the field, like care about the guy who's sitting next to you, like, does he have a family? Does he have a kid? Like, what's his kid's names? Like, when is his birthday?
Yeah.
You know, just ask him how his day was today. Because people think we machines. So like it's easy to connect with people when you connect to their humanity.
Yeah.
And like show them that, hey, I see you as a person. Like, you're not just the next guy I'm trying to get up out of here. Like, because at the end of the day, the best guy gonna be out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So. Not everybody's wired that way, you know, especially from a communication style standpoint. Because when I got drafted, the guy who I was coming in, he was like, rookie, don't ask me a question. I don't know. I don't care.
Oh, that's crazy.
But it also, too, I don't think it was also, you had to, again, being able to zoom out.
Yeah.
There was other things that was at play for him.
For sure.
That kind of like had
a lot of internal stuff that you don't even know that's going on. Yeah.
You know, so I never took it personal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, there's when you coming into a locker room, a lot of grown men, and you're trying to figure out how do you fit in.
Yeah.
You know, those are some of the things you have to be aware of. It's like, how am I communicating, and like, can I pick up on other people's styles so I can know when to say it, when not to say things?
No, that's a fact. You're definitely right about that.
Yeah. Now, when you, again, think back into the league side of things, when you think about moments in the league, you know, from a mentality and a physicality standpoint, you know, when did you realize, like, hey, we don't.
You got to tap in. Like, yeah, man. I would definitely say probably my first camp, because I came in.
Were you still in the camp era? No, you wasn't, because you were
not in the two-a-day camp era. No,
yeah, you missed that window.
Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, thank God. Thank God. I've heard stories, bro.
Yeah, let me tell you, I was in that era of two-a-days. Yeah, on a long streak. You know, 10, 12 days. It's like,
man, that should have been illegal, bro. Like, they did y'all dirty.
They figured they finally made it illegal. So
finally. I was even talking to somebody about how OTAs can get a little grimy. I know it probably was crazy when you was, you know what I'm saying?
Because it was still new, and they were trying to skirt the rules, and OTA was still physical.
It was still physical. It's like in-season practice.
Yeah.
And I came into the league with Matt Patricia coming from New England. So we was getting to it in OTAs.
Because a new coach come in, he gets extra time to get his team ready.
Extra time.
You guys get
trying to see who he got. Yeah, he want to see if that dog gonna bite. So he like, we might can make some decisions.
Boy, you
early
from Georgia? What'd you just say?
If that dog gonna bite. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, man, you had a good career, and now you start to think about the work that you've done off the field.
Yeah.
Who was a person that gave back to you that made you think about, I want to be able to give back to others. I want to be a mentor, a person that someone looks up to.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for asking that, man. I had one older guy when I was in actually like middle school. He was a big time recruit. He was getting recruited by everybody. He was a defensive end. He went to Georgia. His name is Ray Drew. My family and his family knew each other. And everybody could kind of see I had some potential to possibly go play at college and beyond. So thankful that, not only did he see me and was able to, be a mentor to me, somebody I could look up to. Because it always helps when, like, you can reach out and touch somebody that's doing the thing that you want to do.
Absolutely.
Because now it's like, oh, I can do that.
Absolutely.
He from where I'm from. He doing exactly what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So eternally grateful to him for being that picture. So it lit a fire within me, to be that same guy for kids coming up now. So I put on camps back home for the kids. I love to be, visible where they can reach out and touch me like I'm not some figment of their imagination. I can show them that, hey, like I'm from the same place you from. Like I grew up in the same circumstances. Like no matter what's going on in your household or around you, like if you apply yourself, you work hard, if you trust the Lord, anything is possible. So like that's always my message, and I want to be an illustration of that for the kids because, Ray was that for me. I had older cousins that played ball that was that for me. And, I think about other kids who maybe have had the talent and didn't fulfill all of their potential, how they maybe didn't have that.
Right.
And if I can be that, if the Lord calls me to be that for somebody else, then, I'm ready to step up to the challenge.
Yeah. And on that point of, as you're mentoring these kids and you are, you're touching their lives, what do you see the biggest things that's missing?
Yeah, man. That's a big question because we could take this in a million different directions in today's society. But I would say I can speak to my situation, right? I can just speak to what I experienced. I can sit here and confidently say, without my dad, without my uncle, without certain coaches in my life, without strong male influences in my life that, maybe weren't perfect, but were trying to do it the right way, that were setting the example, that was disciplining me when I needed it, that was correcting me when I needed it, that was showing me the intangible things of what being a man looks like. Without them, I could confidently say I more than likely would not be sitting in this seat. So I think the most important thing for kids these days in order to be successful, and I'm not diminishing the role of a mother or women in their lives because I have strong women in my life too, but I can confidently say that we need the structure and the guidance and the love of some type of father figure in the home or close in your circle of influence.
Yeah. Back to the village.
Yeah, back to the village.
Back to the village.
Back to the village.
So it's not necessarily, it's proximity.
Yeah.
Having those strong male leaders in proximity, that someone that also had the authority to hold you accountable.
For sure. Accountability. There you go. That's good. That's good. So,
no, I like that. And I just, I think about what this generation has to fight against with all the social pressures, with having that kind of access, feeling like they, again, because information at their fingertip, know everything, and they still skip a step. And I think one of the steps that's been skipped is you still need the reps.
Oh man, that's good. That's good.
And so again, we talking in sports analogy.
Yeah.
No matter how many times, I started this podcast and I'm doing this podcast, I feel like, okay, I can talk to people and things like that.
Yeah.
But I still needed the reps to get better at it and keep getting better at it. I'm still working on getting better at it, Man,
that's so good.
And so I think when I look at what's happening, what's going on is that if we can spend more time focusing in getting, clear guidance on our intangibles so that I can then, now I know how I operate.
Right.
Now I can keep putting the reps in and getting better and better. Because as a young kid, young person, especially for our parents who are, listening to this, and we know as parents, brains are still developing.
Yeah.
Brain is still developing. And so if we are able to understand and be aware of these things early so that we can continue to push our kids to get the reps in the areas that they need, then we're in that space. So
we're in a good space. Yeah. That's so good of what reps, you said. Reps, bro. And when you asked me about something Coach Sweeney always like to say in the 2-minute drill, he always used to say, there ain't no elevator to success. You got to take the steps.
You got to take the steps.
You got to take the steps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Now, as just something that these things that like touch my heart with when I'm talking to kids and things like that, made me think about a question for you. As you're working with these kids and you're seeing the joy on their face, what kid has impacted you the most more than you've impacted them?
That's great. I'm not going to name one in particular, but I will say, like, when I do my youth camps back home, I've done it, I want to say 3 years now. When I just see the smiles on their faces, when I just see like the pure joy and fun of playing football, like that's like electricity in my bones because there's no agenda to it. Yeah. And like sitting in the seat that we sitting in, like, do we love football? Of course, with all our hearts, but I think we kind of get jaded a little bit because we get to see behind the veil of the business of football and how, it can chew up guys and spit them out, and how guys can get taken advantage of and the money that's at play and who's profiting off this and that. When I get to see those kids, it takes me back to when I was playing Little League football. Right. The first time I got some pads, just playing because I loved it. I wanted to play. I loved the game. It was there was no agenda to it. There's no business behind it. It's just like roll the ball out there and have fun.
Go get it.
You know what I'm saying? And just be thankful that the Lord allow you, to have fun playing this game. Because that's what it's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Yeah. Because people would ask me like, did you play because you wanted to make a certain amount of money to like help your family or this or that? And I know that's the sentiment for a lot of guys, and I'm not faulting that. And yes, was I able to help people around me? Of course.
Right.
But I always told them like it was never about money, really. Like it was because I had fun playing the game.
Right.
And I think that was why I was able to get where I was, because I loved the game so much that it allowed me to sit in the seat I'm sitting in. But the money part wasn't the main focus. And I said that to say too, like with the NIL landscape, you know, should kids get paid? Of course. Like I want them to get paid. And did I miss out on it? Yeah, but that's fine. They getting it. They getting it for me. Take my check. But I think they should. I think we as a whole, it shows me looking at those little kids, keep the main thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Let the joy stay there.
Let the joy stay there.
Let's not steal it.
Yeah.
Man, as we wind down here, I got a couple more questions for you. One, you made an announcement, and I appreciate you sharing that on this podcast.
Yeah, no doubt.
Of you're now starting to step away from the game.
Yeah.
You've been through life, and you know what greatness looked like on that side of the coin. As you make that transition out, how are you starting to think about and defining what greatness looked like in a different arena?
Phenomenal question. I think now sitting on this side of it, I think one of the biggest realizations that I had, and this may be off base a little bit, but if you need to rein me in.
You go, man. This is your show.
Okay. I bet.
I'm just here I'm just along for the ride.
Along for the ride, okay. I realized that, yes, I love football. I love what football taught me. I love what football did for me. The arena and the avenue that it paved for me. But I realize now, being out of the game for a little while, that the best thing that I ever could have realized, or the best thing that ever could have happened to me, is to build a relationship with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I think so many guys leave the game, with no identity, struggling to find it. And we see so many tragedies, kids are lost, young men are lost. And I'm so thankful that, the Lord Jesus Christ found me before it was too late.
Right.
And I realized that, no matter what arena I step into, no matter what I do to keep myself busy, like if it's not honoring the Lord, if it's not something He wants me to do, then I don't have any interest in it.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that as bad off as I was, as far away as I had gotten from Him, that He saved me, that, He showed me what my true identity was, and that He had always been there.
Yeah.
I just chose to turn away. But I'm so glad that now sitting in this seat, I can see without, football distracting me, without workouts for football distracting me, that although I love the game so much and the game didn't love me back at a certain point in time, Jesus always did. Yeah. He was always there with His arms wide open.
That's how you define greatness now. And I always say, I say now, because of the awareness piece of whatever door you want, close it. Whatever door you want, open it.
Yeah.
And I'm ready.
That's good.
So man, that's good for you. So you're right now standing in the doorway of like, all right,
what's next?
What's next?
Yeah, where you need me.
That's awesome, man. Well, as as we kind of come to a close here, my last question for you.
Yeah.
And I always say that, but then you may say something that may spark another answer. So I'm gonna put a preference.
Yeah.
But my last question for you: when you think about your life, your upbringing, your career, where you are today, what are several intangibles that's made you who you are today?
Ooh, that's a big question. Several intangibles that's made me who I am today. Man, first of all, I would say resilience.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Resilience, getting knocked down, but standing up again.
Got to keep getting up.
Humility. Not allowing my ego to get too big.
Yeah.
Or to overshadow people, and realizing that you aren't the most important person in the room. It's the person that you can help. It's the person that you can be a light for.
Right.
And lastly, I would say sacrifice. There's a lot of things that you aren't going to feel like doing, a lot of things you ain't gonna want to do. It's a lot of things you're gonna be scared to do. And there's a lot of things that people aren't going to cheer you on to do.
Yeah.
But you got to do it anyway. You got to give up what you want most for what's best for the collective.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say those three because I feel like they cover a wide range and blanket of things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome, man. This has been a fantastic podcast, man. I really appreciate you jumping on, sharing your story.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me, man.
Your resilience, your sacrifice, your leadership, your composure, and just the man that you are today. I'm rooting you on, cheering for you, and I hope someone takes something and hear and learn and say that I want to apply this to myself, or I want to share this with my kid, man. So thank you for jumping on and sharing your story. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, Chris. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's good.